What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one source for everything cool in the world of video games. Don't forget, you can be a part of the show. It's quite simple. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up on Discord, where there you can submit your clip and end off our show. Don't forget, for more of our content, you can always check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/theofficialitg or at Inside the Game over on YouTube. Now, what's coming up on this week's show? Well, here it is. It's the rundown.
Alright, so I got my hands on the latest Mario title, and wow, I absolutely adore this game.
And it's not always quality stuff that you're finding, so finding quality games isn't always easy on the AR platform.
Man, this game becomes a symphony of death when you really get further into the game, man. It is insane.
Nate, buddy, welcome to Watch Dogs Legion multiplayer first impressions. That looks like an excellent show, so let's get started. Here's Nate with Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
Alright, this week I'm powering up solo on the Nintendo Switch with Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Alright, so I got my hands on the latest Mario title, and wow, I absolutely adore this game. Now, we do have a bit of a remaster approach with Super Mario 3D World coming from the Wii U, the previous Nintendo generation, but a lot of people missed that console. If you look at the numbers, there was, I don't know, 20 million maybe top sold of Wii U consoles in total sales of the world. That is ridiculous. That is small in comparison to what Nintendo Switch is doing right now and a lot of other consoles. So, that all to say, is this remaster worth it? I absolutely think so. I put most of my time into the new part, Bowser's Fury, which I'm going to get into right now because wow, it is great. They again somehow introduce new features and just new quirky things like Mario always does with every game. Now, granted, this isn't a full Mario experience. This is a 10-hour package where there's only a few worlds to play, but still several collectibles to obtain. The whole story of the game, which I know Mario stories, they're not this great, in-depth, amazing story. But nonetheless, there is still always one there. And in this one, you're actually using Bowser Jr. because his dad, Bowser, has gone mad. And it seems like it's the same stuff that's poisoning him from Super Mario Sunshine, this black ink. So what you have to do is use Bowser Jr. and obtain these cat stars, or cat shine. And what's really cool about this is as you're playing the game, you're constantly getting bombarded by Bowser. He just spawns in, everything starts to rain and go dark, and he just kind of attacks you. So what you have to do in this case is either just play it out until he goes away, or obtain a noob star. And once you've done that, it pushes them away and everything's back to beautiful and normal. But if you've obtained enough stars through each stage, you actually use this big cat bell and power yourself up to this massive size, to the same size as Bowser, and then fight him. That's how the boss fights are in this game. I thought that was really kind of quirky and cool. And again, what is especially cool about this is that the boss fights, you're actually huge size in the same world that you're playing as a small character. So it's really kind of cool as a, from a different perspective, seeing it like that. I thought that was really interesting, and just, again, this whole kind of twist on the game I thought was very good. Bowser's Fury is a highly recommended title for me. So between all the collectibles you're obtaining, just like in the other Marios, you know, all the coins and the special hidden stars, there is a ton of stuff to do in this game. Although, like I said, it is not your 20-hour experience with multiple worlds to explore, but you still totally get your bang for your buck. I'm gonna have to give this one a 9.5. An excellent addition to the Mario franchise that brings some new elements in a classic Mario way.
Guys, you and I, we always seem to be talking about VR games, but something that's been a little pushed to the side is actually AR games. Augmented reality is a thing, and it's mostly popular in the world of the phones. Mobile markets seem to be capitalizing on this with huge games, and I think without a doubt, Pokemon Go stands out the most. And today we're just kind of giving our own thoughts on the actual AR market. Corey, what do you think when it comes to the world of gaming? How well has AR actually changed in recent years compared to where it's been in the past, and comparing that with the VR market now?
Well, you know what? AR isn't something we talk about very often. We've done a couple reviews on AR games, but again, it's mostly mobile. So there's a ton of games to sift through here on the mobile market. And it's not always quality stuff that you're finding. So finding quality games isn't always easy on the AR platform. We play a ton of VR games that is also littered with games that aren't necessarily great, but they're more of experiences. And I think that's where AR kind of sides with. It's more of an experience. It is a little more kind of, gitchy. It's just one of those things where, it's you're going to use it and you're going to have fun with it, but it's not something you're necessarily going to stay with. I personally I downloaded and played Angry Birds AR, and it was actually implemented really well. But the only thing that really drew me to the game is the fact that I know the Angry Birds franchise as being pretty solid games overall, good little time wasters. So I said, why not? Let's see how these guys implemented this game into AR. And they did a great job. Like, I can play any game on any surface in my house, and I can rotate around the map, and it works pretty flawlessly. Like, it's just like I'm playing the other game, but it's in my living room or in my kitchen instead. So that kind of experience is cool. But again, I'm not, jumping off my console to play an AR. So it sucks in the sense that there's a lot to sift through here. There's going to be some good titles out there from some bigger names. Like we talked about Pokemon, Angry Birds has got a little bit of guff in that, that realm as well. But overall, it's just AR is just that one step disconnected from VR, right? VR gives us the hardware to give us that immersive experience. AR is just giving us, one dimension off of that, I think. It's cool, but it's just not exactly where it needs to be for it to be a mainstream way to game. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, man, I think with augmented reality, there's not a lot of genre selection. Like shooters, in reality, are you going to walk around with your phone shooting your friends? No.
We tried it.
I've seen it, and I've seen a trailer for a game in an app, and I just kind of laughed. I mean, it's a cool idea, but that's about it. Like, I'm never going to play that. But Pokemon Go is a great example, yes, but on the same time, do a lot of people use the AR mode? Not really. Like, you're mostly just using the game backgrounds and catching the Pokemon. Because, to be fair, it's honestly a lot harder to catch with the real world background. But I don't know. Let's look at Microsoft years ago. The HoloLens.
Yeah.
What about the HoloLens? No one even probably knows about it nowadays. Because that was something that they were advertising for Minecraft. Man, I remember watching this trailer and being blown away. Right? It looked so cool, but it just never came out. And to be fair, Microsoft probably, they're like, is this really gonna sell Minecraft? Like Minecraft, I remember like last year or something, they had over they average over 100 million users a month.
Oh yeah.
So if they knew that the HoloLens wasn't gonna push that number further, or make more money, obviously, like, it's just not there, man. I don't know if the technology is there or if it ever will be. Like, I don't know, right? It's not like VR where you can get, like Corey said, really immersed into the experience. It's kind of just like, oh, this is cool. I can play Harry Potter with my friends or kill some zombies in the real world. It's kind of just like these niche things. I don't know if that's the word, but
no, I think it is.
You know what I'm saying, Drew?
Yeah, no, absolutely. AR, I think, is, like you say, like almost gimmicky, right? The only really good ones that seem to stand out the most are ones that are capitalizing on top tier franchises that we all know. Jurassic World, The Walking Dead, Harry Potter, right? Pokemon. There's a reason why these ones kind of stand out over top of the others. A, because budget is probably put into these games, and B, is because people are already attached to these titles. So they're already there and go, ooh, cool, what's this? And they check that out. Or Angry Birds, like you say, Corey, you check that out because you knew who Angry Birds were. When a new company comes in and tries to pitch an AR game on your phone, you're like, well, I might check it out or I might not. Chances are you won't. And you won't. If you do, you don't last. That's the other thing. You don't see AR games taking off. When HoloLens was announced, and they did, Nate, they did that demo of Minecraft, and it comes out of the table.
Awesome. It was
dude,
that was
right?
so cool.
But that is awesome. But look at who wants to spend money on that for, like, Microsoft per se, versus going with VR. And a lot of people now have pushed over to the world of VR instead, because it feels like you're in the world. When you're doing AR, you're messing with the world, where instead of VR puts you into that world. And so it's a whole different experience. If you haven't had the chance to play VR, I highly recommend it. It is like an experience I've never had in the world of gaming before, where AR just feels like it's more of a toy versus the VR
Definitely
experience.
Something to still try, I think. Definitely something to still try. But I think if you're looking for that immersion, like you said, Drew, I think VR is really where you got to go.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Let us know at InsideTheGame.ca if you're playing any AR-related games.
All right, Scott, we're checking out one of 2017's best Steam sellers, Ruiner, but this time on the Switch. Alright, Scott, we got our hands on Ruiner, which is actually an older game now, but recently came to the Switch. And I think it was a fairly good port, all in all. This game is this cyberpunk, isometric style action RPG game. And to be fair, it runs fairly smoothly on the Switch. What did you think, man?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea for an isometric shooter game. It's not something I've really seen much of before, and I think it fits really well on its new home in the Switch. We haven't experienced this game otherwise beforehand, so I can't exactly compare it to a console release, but I enjoy having it portable, and I think it really fits well in the way that the levels are so much shorter. And the game is really focused around a lot of storytelling, which is really cool when it's put in this, you stated, cyberpunk universe. I think that's also very accurate. I believe it's the 2090s in year, and the world is pretty recognizable, but there is definitely a lot of interesting things happening with technology, the mixing of humans and robotics. And it explores a lot of a gritty underworld that is close to something you could imagine of being in a cyberpunk setting. It's something that's unique, and I was really happy to get a hold of this one.
Yeah, man. I thought the story, it starts off a little slow, but it does take off pretty well, because you're this assassin-style dude where you're out going to assassinate the boss. That's his name in this game, and he is the leader of Heaven, and Heaven actually runs this kind of cyberpunk metropolis that we were in. And while you're on your mission to assassinate him, you get hacked by her. Yeah, the names in this game are pretty interesting. But you get hacked by her, and she tells you that your brother has been kidnapped. So you stop your mission and you go to find your brother. And without getting too much into spoilers, that's kind of where the game takes off. But I thought, man, the pacing in this game was pretty cool. Like you said, there's lots of cutscenes. There's no voiceover, so you are stuck reading. But I thought the pictures that they had were really good, along with actual cutscenes that are in this game.
Yeah, they go to a really satisfying comic book style frame whenever it comes to a conversation with a character, and there's a lot of different kind of types of people around. You get the kind of gritty underworld characters, and then you get some of the different cybernetic kind of main story characters that they each have their own interest in the world around them, and as far as you're concerned, they may be some sort of side mission or just something to do on top while you're exploring in the main objective mission that you're trying to complete. What I'm trying to say is the world is pretty open-ended when you get to a new location. There is certainly a quick way to get things done and just to get on out of there, but there's a lot of things that are put in. If you speak to the right characters, you get these secondary objectives to complete as well, and that really flushes out more of the exploration side of this universe. I think it's really interesting because there's a lot to be told about the universe and the different characters, and we don't want to get into spoilers, but it gets incredibly deep, and there's some twists and turns here and there. And the story was really what was keeping me on the hook. And there is a lot of combat to this. It's not to say otherwise. But to me, it was the combat is what paces the experience to get you back into the story. And they hype in the proper moments when the story is getting, more intense. And I think that was really, really well done with the different action sequences kind of put along in there to extend the situations that you're in. And it also gives you some experience, and you craft your character over time. So there's a lot of things worked into this game that you're not really seeing all of it right at the start, but you get a couple segments, a couple levels into this game, and you really realize that there's a lot of things going on in this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on the combat because I brought it up, but I don't want to minimize it. The combat is a lot of what you're doing in this game, and it is extremely difficult, especially at the beginning.
Oh man, yeah. Thankfully they have 3 difficulty settings which you can change while you're doing your playthrough. But man, this game, it's a lot about using your shield, which deflects projectiles, using your dodge ability, and then using your melee, and then picking up the weapons that you take from enemies that you kill or that you loot from crates. It's just, man, this game becomes a symphony of death when you really get further into the game, man. It is insane. It's not necessarily the smoothest. I unfortunately only played on handheld. My controller is broken, so I wasn't able to check out on my Pro Controller. But I just found that sometimes when I was trying to hit an enemy, I just wasn't quite being as precise as I would like. So that was one thing I kind of had to mention.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of scenarios that you're put in this game where you're jumping from, firearm to firearm and using your katana to kind of space certain enemies, but it gets into a lot of shooting. It's very heavy on the shooting, and the isometric camera angle, I think, is the culprit in making that not quite as smooth as it could be. But it is certainly something you can get used to kind of as you get further along in the game. And there is a little bit of a magnetism that happens with the targets as well. So sometimes as long as you can hit them a few times. Generally, you're kind of soft locked on, and you can at least put up your end of the combat to match their aggression. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of powers at work here too. So you mentioned the shield and the dodging. There's also a stun grenade and a frag grenade and different things that you put your points into as you level up and get further along in this game. So there's a little bit of character customization, a little bit of character tweaking, and a lot of options of what you'd like to bring into the combat. And I think that's where the difficulty ceiling really is can you use your limited energy to dispatch enemies as efficiently as possible and just get ready for the next wave of enemies, because there is generally a lot.
Yeah, man. And then you get into these boss fights, and they are tough, man. I struggled on a few of them, man. But I must say, they had quite a variety of boss fights. They were constantly throwing them. Not too much where you're feeling overwhelmed, but I felt like there was enough variety in the enemies and everything that this game was pretty solid, man. I think we should actually score this one. We've talked about a lot of stuff on this. What are you going to score Ruiner on the Switch?
This game is somewhat complicated to measure in some regard because it's doing a lot of storytelling, but the action is strong. It's a little difficult, but I feel like the action is not the focus. The story and the twists and turns and the different characters is more what this game is all about. It beautifully is, it looks amazing, even on the Switch. It's maybe a little bit dark, but the comic book kind of paint look to the game is really appealing to me. And I want to give this one a 6.5. I think it missed the mark on just a couple things here and there, but that could have extended it and made it that much bigger and better to a new player. But it has that curiosity that's dragged me in, and I hope to see more made out of this universe.
Yeah, man. I mean, they couldn't have said it much better. I'm right there with you with the 6.5. This game, I love the whole cyberpunk feeling, especially after playing Cyberpunk 2077. I was kind of getting that itch again to play something like this. So, again, it's not the smoothest controls, but that story really drives you forward. So, 6.5. Playing through as a silent protagonist in this tough, action-packed RPG is complemented heavily by the beautiful setting in a cyberpunk metropolis.
Nate, buddy, welcome to Watch Dogs Legion Multiplayer First Impressions. I was attending an event through Ubisoft, thanks to our friends over at Ubisoft for hooking us up, that we attended a multiplayer session. I had hands-on time for about 5 hours of Watch Dogs Legion's multiplayer. This time around, they're spicing things up and bringing it as a co-op experience, and not so much as they've done it in the past. Past in Watch Dogs, where you were kind of out there to mess with people, mess with the online component. So as you were playing your game, you'd have people enter your world and just kind of mess with you, and you had to track them down and things like that. Completely different this time around. A huge focus went over to the world of co-op. So now you can hook up with your friends and play Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion for me was a fantastic game. I played 30 hours of that game, completed it, had a blast, and now we're getting an online component that allows us to play with friends. Dude, I'm all in. There are several events throughout the map. You're still back in the same London experience, and the way it works is you select different missions. There is a co-op mission, which you can have with 2 to 4 friends. There's tactical ops, which is a little bit more coordinated when it comes to co-op, and it requires 3 to 4 people. They have a solo online component, believe it or not, but I'll explain more about that in a second. And lastly, they brought the Spider Bot Arena, and I think that's where I'll really gotta start with that, buddy. What happens is Spider Bot Arena is 4 people. You each have your own bot, and it's just an arena where you go in battle and shoot each other, and whoever has the most points wins, essentially, is how it goes. So we're in there. You know, it's fun. You're bouncing around with your spider, but I don't see it lasting very long. That's the thing. I think it's a good time for like, if you want to kill like 5-10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, jump in there, grab a couple of points. I think they're gonna have probably some achievements or trophies aligned with that. So if you're one of those hunters, then you're gonna jump in there, get your achievement or a trophy, and probably bounce out, to be honest, in my impression of the game. Now, I had a good time. Some of the others, I feel, I didn't like it so much. It feels a little tacked on more than what it does when it comes to the co-op side. Solo allows you, it's funny, solo in an online component, but you're there to gather influence, and that's how you want to grow your DedSec team. Basically, what happens if your agent dies, your DedSec agent dies or gets arrested, then you bounce into another op that's on your team. So you go out, do missions, and you gain influence, and by gaining influence allows you to get other DedSec agents. That's the whole point of that kind of aspect of the game. And they did that differently too compared to the base game. The base game, you would go and you would select people wandering the streets and you want to recruit them for your team. Well, then you'd be kind of hit with like a favor. Okay, well, yeah, I might join you, but then you have to go do this, this, and this for me. They cut that out this time. For the online component, you spend influence points and you just recruit them, and it's that simple. So you're not having to do extra stuff. I kind of appreciated that, to be honest. I didn't want to be doing all these other side missions. I'm in an online component of the game. I want to be doing that. So solo is there, I think, mostly if you're waiting for your friends to jump on. So you're able to kind of go in, kill some time, and do some solo stuff. Come back, and then while your friends are in, then is where the real meat of the game starts. Co-op, just like it sounds. You're out, do a couple missions. There's different levels. The co-op component is, like I said, 2 to 4 friends for that one, and it's all scattered. But if you played Watch Dogs, you kind of know what you're in for. But it's really the huge focus for me was the tactical ops. Tactical ops requires 3 to 4 people, and is a huge focus on coordination. And it was, we went in. We did the first mission called Trouble at Titus, and it required 2 of us to go in one direction on the map and the other 2 to go in the other direction of the map. And we're off. Then you sneak into this area, and from there you had to hack a key. Well, you download the key and then you hack the server. Well, we have to hack the server at the same time as the other people on the other side of the map hack the server. And then from there,
sounds like you really need to be on your headset at least and communicating with your team during those tactical op missions.
Yeah, tactical op missions is very tactical. They want you to be there to coordinate things. I thought that was really cool. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun to be able to have some of these missions. And as the missions go along, it gets harder. But yeah, we had to then tap into the server, and we got in. Man, we got busted a few times. Like we really did struggle at the beginning of the tactical ops to get things coordinated and get things working, because somebody was a little bit more, hands-on, guns blazing, versus where I'm kind of laid back. I'll send out my drone. So if your teammates are different like that, where you have more of a stealth player and more of a just guns blazing, you're gonna feel that within the tactical ops. I know we did when we were playing online. But dude, it was cool to have us on one side of the map and still be coordinating with our other teammates on the other side of the map. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Well, it's fun, right? It makes a huge difference when we were playing the game. The fact that, online is online, and we had all kinds of co-op missions over the years. So to have this one implemented in such for Watch Dogs, I thought that was a cool experience. It's definitely fun. I'm looking forward to playing with our friends, our team from ITG, to go out and do these missions, because This
It'll be a wreck, but it'll be fun.
Exactly, right? But so yeah, we coordinated. We were able to download the server, and then we had to meet up. And then when my teammate and I finished our side, we had to then go the other side of the map, and the countdown started. So we had to get over there, and we eventually met up over there with the rest of our team, and we finished the mission out. And honestly, it was cool, but I'm curious to see how they can keep the online component alive, right? Because once you've done the mission, then you're done the mission. You can replay the mission, but as you and I've seen, games of service over the years rely on more and more content. And so if they're going to keep this online component going, we're going to need more online story missions. I don't want to be doing the same co-op experience over and over again.
No, exactly. So you said you are working towards upgrading or obtaining those points, right?
Yeah.
As you're completing these missions.
Yep.
Now, how does it work? Does everyone spawn in as their personal character from their single player experience, or are there completely separate characters for multiplayer?
But when we started this, they actually gave us our own agent. So you jump in, they supplied you with one agent, and then from there you were acquired to go out and get more agents, more DedSec agents. So I'm hoping, we can definitely carry. The idea is to carry over your own DedSec that you played in the single player game, and then carry that forward. When you are arrested, then you bounce to another agent, just like in the other game, right?
Okay.
In the base game. So then you kind of carry on, but if you run out of agents, then you're in trouble. That's the whole point of it. But yeah, you definitely want to be able to go in. They gave us upgrade points already, so we were already outfitted with so many gadgets and things like that. But then they gave us extra points to go and spend on things to kind of more personalize our experience for what we want to use more often versus maybe what you would like to use, kind of.
Okay, well, it sounds, honestly, man, the multiplayer sounds like a good addition to the game. It doesn't sound like they've really missed much. Being able to play missions with your friends, there's nothing wrong with that. Kind of like you said earlier, though, they do need to, if they want to keep it alive, just keep adding content somewhat regularly. Well,
absolutely, because now that I'm done the single player content, I'm done, right? Like, that's it. I put the game aside. I knew the multiplayer was coming, so that will get me back into the game. But how long was that going to keep me around for is something we'll see in the future, right? Because if we're doing the same missions over and over again, that's not going to last very long. People are going to get tired of it. We'll get bored of it, and then we're going to move on. I personally loved Watch Dogs Legion. I had a blast playing that game. I lost one of my agents, unfortunately, due to a car explosion. But it is what it is. But that's the experience of the game. And if that happens in an online component too with co-op, and all of a sudden I'm down and out and I've lost that agent, that is devastating, right? But it's that conversation now that you were with me this time, and so was maybe Corey and Steve. We're all together playing, and then I die. Dude, I've lost one of my best agents ever. That's an experience you go on and you talk about and you share on like social media or things like that, right? So if they can build this aspect to the game, I think we're in for something pretty special. I had fun. I played with other people, but it wasn't like my actual friends, but people I know well enough, right? So this time when we jump in, when it launches here just around the corner, I think it's gonna be a cool time. But yeah, we'll see how long it lasts.
No, man. Unless you're like going out and just exploring the open world and new missions, that's what really drives it forward. So hopefully, we'll see some stuff in the future.
Hopefully.
This multiplayer does look really cool, especially from what you've told me so far.
Overall, yeah, I definitely had a great time checking out the multiplayer online component of Watch Dogs Legion. Spider-Bot seems to be a little weak, and I don't think it's going to last all that long. But the real fun is to be had there. You can jump in with your friends, do the co-op missions, or tactical ops is, I think, rarely where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking out one of my favorite genres, point and click adventure genre. I jumped into the world of Encodya, a 2062 setting of Neo Berlin, and the world is set in this kind of cyberpunk-like feel, and the art style, it was an instant hook for me. That cel-shaded-esque feel and the way everything's got this neon touch to it was outstanding instantly. And then as you get into Tina's story, this 9-year-old orphan that is out to explore what she's been given a mission for, and I'll kind of leave it at that. As an orphan, kind of you get the feel of what's going on there, but there's a little bit more to that backstory. But she's been given to a robot to take care of. Sam 53, is there to kind of protect her, make sure she's okay in this orphan setting as she lives on this rooftop by herself. And the way the story unfolds, well, no spoilers, but it is really good.
Who are you? I'm Aga.
And I'm Isa.
And we don't talk with anyone who's not our friend.
Or doesn't have something for us.
Or doesn't know someone that we know.
So which are you?
Tina's been given a mission by someone to go out and save the world. Kind of typical in a sense, but the mayor, the antagonist of the entire game, is over to overtake the world and have everybody in this hypnosis of VR and having them want to jump into the cyber world and be stuck there forever. And as you wander around and meet some of these characters and explore the world, it is just cool. But my biggest problem with the game is actually some of the puzzles. The lack of direction with some of it will have you stuck there for a very long time. Some puzzles were great in the fact that you knew what to do, and eventually you were able to overcome and get that puzzle achieved. But in classic point-and-click adventure games, you find yourself scrolling around the level looking for the next thing to click on to be able to match for the objective of the puzzle, or the items you pick up. Why do you have some of these items? Some of the items in the first chapter alone, I never even used, but I had a bunch of them in my inventory. Didn't quite understand why that was. And then as you get longer and progress in the story, you get other materials. And then of course, classic point and click adventure games, you want to combine some of these things. And it's not always explained exactly why you should combine these things. You more or less, I found myself stumbling across some of these things to unlock the puzzles. And it's unfortunate because the story itself is really cool. Tina, the main character of the game, is fantastic. Sam, her companion robot, I think was really well done. There's a wittiness to the actual dialogue too. It is so good, but the puzzles themselves can be really, really challenging.
What?
The offices are closed at this time of night, and you are not allowed to stay in the hall for more than 15 minutes. Please leave.
One of the highlights of the game was actually the audio. Ambiance in the game and the score of the actual game was so well done. It gives you a sense and a feeling of your surroundings. It was really well matched with the actual art style. I thought everything went perfectly well with it, and it's definitely something that was a standout feature within the game and often missed with a lot of these point and click adventure games. There weren't too many things that I'd say were too negative about the game. My only real hindrance was the lack of actual character detection. The bodies would walk right through each other. Often when you're on the streets, you would see someone walk right through Sam or through Tina, or in that case, you'd even see Tina and Sam walk through each other. So that was something that's kind of taken me out of the story a little bit. It would have been nice to have that, see Sam walk around Tina, or Tina go around someone, or the person walking down the street, for instance, would move around them. Have that hit detection in there. That was one of the things missing from the game. One of the highlights, though, itself, were the fact that each character has their own strengths within the world. Only Sam can talk to certain robots in there. Otherwise, when Tina goes up and talks to the robot, it's a bunch of gibberish, and she doesn't quite understand it. So I thought that was a really cool touch.
Hello there. I guess this robot doesn't talk to you.
Chaos Monger Studio pulled off, I think, what was something to be one of the best point-and-click adventure games this year. It's definitely a standout and matches up to some of the best classics we've ever experienced. Talking about Grim Fandango, Monkey Island, some of the huge ones. One of my personal favorites, Broken Sword. That series is fantastic, and I think Encodya really kind of stepped it up, giving you that sense of the old classics, but yet bringing it into a new feel. The ability to go from one side of the map to instantly jump into the next portion of the map was a real nice touch. Most times in order for you to traverse around the world or around the map itself, that level, you'd have to click on one side and then your character would walk over it. Now it's just a double click and they just jump to that next level. I thought it was well done. That was a nice execution. And for me, man, this game is fantastic. The world of Encodya has so much charm. This is a fantastic game. Definite must grab for anybody who's a fan of the point and click adventure series. This is one of my favorites of the year so far, and I'm giving it an 8.5. The point and click adventure genre lives on with Encodya, an instant classic that should not be missed by fans. Just wish they wouldn't walk through each other. I've got us covered this week in the mobile mention. Let's start sniping. I'm talking about Hitman Sniper 2. This is early access right now over on Android, and I definitely recommend picking this one up. It brings us the Hitman Challenge feature that we're being kind of accustomed to, in a sense, if you started with Hitman 2, or if you pre-ordered way back in the day with Hitman Absolution, you got this as a feature. It was awesome. And of course, if you played the original Hitman Sniper over on Android and iOS, they've now upgraded in a lot of ways. We have all new challenges, gear to upgrade. There's all kinds of things to upgrade. There is a whole campaign as well. 5 different levels to go for, different targets. Of course, all the new ways that you can maneuver around and take out your targets are all there. But there's one slight problem. The trajectory of the ammo, when you shoot the bullet and it takes out a target, even if they're hanging on a ledge, say my microphone is here, they'll fall over top my microphone. That's something that shouldn't be. They should get hit with the bullet and obviously be trajected backwards, not forwards. That's my only gripe with the game. They've also added PvP, which I think is fantastic. 2 units will face off and go for the highest score as quickly as possible with taking out the target. One with the highest score wins, and then you upgrade your character from there. Different snipers to choose from. There's so much to do. Believe me, you got 5 minutes, download the game. You're welcome. Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics announced when we're going to get more content for Marvel's Avengers. I know we're all kind of looking for a reason to play past our 150 current, but what do you do when you're leveled up that high? Well, you move on to the next story. Kate Bishop, I'm sure a lot of us have already completed, but what's next? Well, on March 18th, they announced we're going to be getting a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, and the latest hero, Clint Barton. That's right, we'll be playing as Hawkeye, and to be honest, he kind of looks similar to Kate Bishop.
I don't know about you Warzone fans, but I'm definitely getting a little tired of Verdansk. It's feeling a little stale. You know, we've gotten a few changes to the map along the way, and that's been great. We've also gotten Rebirth Island, which has kind of added a whole new dimension to Warzone, which has been awesome as well. But we haven't really gotten any major changes to the Verdansk map in a while. And we're getting the Season 2 cinematic trailer, and let me tell you, this is one awesome action scene. We've got a helicopter flying into Laos, Southeast Asia. We're talking jungles, we're talking mountains. This may be a hint at what a new map could possibly hold for us here, which is awesome. It's actually got the strike team going in to save Adler, who is actually captured right at the end of Season 1 by Stitch, who's actually over on Rebirth Island with all that Nova 6, and we're actually introduced to the new villain, I think, in the new Black Ops here, and it's Naga. And Naga's working with Stitch around with this Nova 6 gas, and they've got Adler, and they're taking him back to Verdansk. We're not sure what's happening here, but the strike team's in Laos. They're trying to save him, and that's kind of where the storyline's headed here. So I'm hoping Warzone kind of just rolls with this, and we do get a new map here, whether it's Rebirth Island size or, you know, something around Verdansk or maybe a little bit smaller. It'd just be nice to get that mix up. It does look like we're going to be getting a few new guns. Assault Rifle Galil from the original Black Ops. We're going to be getting Gatling gun Score Streak, which looks pretty sweet there. He jumps out of the helicopter and that thing's just blasting everywhere. So that one's going to be a good time. So we're going to be getting also a few new integrations into zombies as well. So look for that. I'm telling you, this is going to be a huge update. Season 2 is going to bring, I think, a ton of fresh content. And if you've been getting bored of Warzone, getting bored of Black Ops, I think you're going to be revitalized here. This one's going to be a good one. So in a few days, make sure you're downloading that one.
I can't believe it. It's already that time of year. Yes, Nintendo Direct, it has finally struck, and it hit us with a lot of great games. And starting things off, I'm going to hit you with Splatoon 3. Yes, unfortunately, it's not coming out this year, but early 2022, it sounds like we will be getting the third installment to this spectacular series. This series, if you've never played it, it's like a 4v4 crazy team deathmatch style game that has really evolved into something spectacular. So what's next? We got Zelda Skyward Sword remake finally coming, and that's coming later this year. My brother, myself, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this, and they are finally bringing it to the Switch with some upgraded controller options. So this will be great to be able to relive this experience yet again. It has been 10 years already. It's already been 10 years since we played this game on our updated consoles. So what's the next thing? The next character to Smash Ultimate. Yes, Pyra from Xenoblade 2. She is hitting the roster and she seems pretty juicy. Yep, another fighting character. Not so surprised from that JRPG style game, but nonetheless, it is another great addition to this roster. Smash has continually hit us with awesome characters, and this is yet another one. But now let's talk about Mario Golf. Finally, we're getting a Mario Golf game on the Switch. I am anticipating that, this is going to be great because I used to love this on the GameCube. I remember renting this way back in the day several times over and playing this with my friends. It was a lot of fun. I can only imagine what they're going to do on the Nintendo Switch version of this. But one of the biggest things I think that Nintendo hit us with is a Star Wars game, a free-to-play multiplayer Star Wars game set between The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. So, this could be really cool. The fact that it's coming to the Switch, especially later this year. Wow, I cannot wait to find out more information about this game.
Every now and then, you see a game that just explodes, and, well, Steam has that game. Have you heard of Valheim? This game has reached 2 million units sold in under 2 weeks. It had 360,000 concurrent players. If you haven't heard of Valheim, this might be your next game. Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated purgatory inspired by Viking culture. Battle, build, and conquer your way to a saga worthy of Odin's patronage. Richard Svensson, CEO of Iron Gate Studios, said, "Our goals were pretty much to cover our development costs, so we could continue to exist as a studio and continue working on Valheim. I guess our future is safe for now." Valheim has not been rushed. It's a product of more than 3 years of iterative development with features added and tested on a core team of early adopters. Also, as a designer, I don't like to follow popular conventions, but try to go on my own way. This seems to have worked out. Well, Valheim seems to be taking the world by storm, and if you haven't tried it, well, maybe you will. I know the ITG guys are jumping in.
There are some people that want to speedrun through a game or just want to get to the end. But if you're like me, you like to look for the secret passages, or get those 50 headshots, or those hidden treasures, and like to be rewarded with an achievement or a trophy, you might have noticed on the Xbox mobile app for the iOS and the Android that the achievement list is actually missing. Well, good news, on a recent podcast with Major Nelson, Jason Ronald, Xbox Director of Program Management, revealed that the achievement tab are back soon after listening to the feedback. Well, that's really good news, because I actually do miss my achievement tab from my Xbox mobile app. Also, Jason Ronald also tweeted to the fans that we will be seeing a lot more of backwards compatibility enhancements coming out this year, such as improved frame rate. So now could be a good time to start downloading all those favourite Xbox 360 games.
Plant yourself somewhere on the first floor, and then like partway through, kind of make your way from the rear. Cause yeah, the upstairs is pretty. We'll have this pretty held down. There's nowhere to really roam with it there. Friggin' drones are already up here, boys.
That's quick. Barricaded out back for
Two
you,
of
Nate.
them, so.
From tower.
If you guys try to call it a... if you shoot any.
Whoa. There's a glitch.
I got one.
Nice.
I got the
bomb.
other one.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Don't worry, Kyle. I'm just ripping this down again. I like to use the wood to cover up that mat a little bit sometimes.
I'm trying to get this up quick.
It's pretty good, I think. All right, Scott, do your stuff, buddy. Start roaming that.
Outside, Nate.
I almost got him.
Yeah,
Tagged him
for
pretty
sure.
good.
Sub, go ahead, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
I'm creeping around, but I don't see
Yeah, I
anything
appreciate that.
Got another one here.
I'm coming to tower with you.
yet. Oh, I'm being tracked by a jackal. Oh.
Grenade.
Yep.
How things looking on that end, Scott?
Here, quick. Here,
I'm fighting with it. Oh, I lost against a jackal.
You fine here, Nate?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Ah, he's got it.
I'll let you know when I die.
Same here.
I wonder if that jackal's coming up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's coming upstairs. Woo! Thank goodness I was not peeking.
Kyle going hot.
There's a guy laying down out here.
Yeah.
I got him down.
Cycle back into
Nice. Nice, Corey.
Oh, there's two of them there, Drew. At that door.
Oh,
There's
there's three.
one.
There's three. Another one's in. The bomb's there too. Oh, I got two. I ran out of ammo. I got that third one too.
Nice,
There's a
Nate.
sledge at the door.
Man, if someone saw that, that was pretty lucky. I just shot through the wall.
Got him.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Nice, Drew.
Way to take down Shady Cheese Boy.
You
Clean.
gotta live with these names, man, when you pick these things. You gotta live with them. You gotta remember
Oh
that.
man, some of the ones you see on Xbox, man. Let me tell you.
Awful.
Like, imagine calling
Kitchen.
Xbox and then having to give your Xbox Live gamer tag with some of these.
No.
names.
Oh, no.
For sure.
From
Are
the
they-
bedroom to
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm on cams in the towers still right now.
Nothing?
Nothing. You're clear. The window
Okay.
on the right is blown open though. There you go. All right, coming now.
Yo.
Let me know when you guys are ready. I can blow open this wall.
One sec.
I'm here.
I'm almost there.
Okay. Man, they left it open again. Dude.
They got me, because
I'm here.
Hey, you guys really like to peek me, eh?
I destroyed a defense system, but that's about it. Nobody in on that side.
You want to drone in, boys? For me?
I'm just watching the stairs for now.
Yeah, I'm droning. On
Thanks,
it.
dude.
Hang on, I gotta get in here. Nice. No, it's just a Rooney's thing here.
Proximity
Yeah,
alarm
yeah.
destroyed.
Rooney in the
Mira.
back. She's in the very back. Rooney, she's right here on ping. Nice. She's still alive. She's getting in the other room. Shoot her, shoot her, shoot her.
Oh, it's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
Ooh, we got one left.
Who's got the... Oh, I got bombed.
Oh, he's in that room straight ahead.
I think he's over there.
I should have droned. I was just like, he's probably hiding in the other room. Nope, not a chance. He's just in that little cubby spot where that radio plays.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I know where. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stand up, Drew.
The diffuser has been secured.
Oh,
Ooh.
30 seconds.
There's two of them. Where's the other one?
You got this, boys.
Cover me!
I am.
I'm watching their side.
Got him. Got one
Oh, he's
anyways.
here. Got him.
Nice.
Protect the diffuser.
Good job, guys.
Good job, boys.
Eliminated.
Clean victory.
Oh, nice. Rotation.
You know what? I was gonna plant my last charge on that just for whatever. I knew it was a little hallway, but man, that would have been great.
Well, that'll wrap up this week's episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. And of course, don't forget, you can be a part of the show. It's quite simple. Go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up on Discord where there you can submit your clip and end off our show, just like Benny7 did. Check this out with some Red Dead action. Looks like the sky is falling. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week inside the game.